Hello and welcome to tutorial 179. In this tutorial we're going to be looking at a situation where you have a number of symbols and you want to know how the price has changed since you applied this program to RadarScreen. So you'll see in this case we applied the chart to Apple at 17:05 local time. At that time the price was 154.39. Is varying, and you can see the difference here as a percentage change, and that seems to be working fine. The problem is if I refresh the chart and do a Control R, you will see that the prices and the times have changed. Now of course we might want to turn off TradeStation for some reason. Also, from time to time TradeStation restarts itself for various reasons. So this way is probably not the best for trying to achieve what we're trying to achieve. Let's first of all just have a quick look at this simple program. And all I've done is created three variables. The original, two of them I've called original close and original time. That is the close when first applied to the chart, or rather the radar screen, and the time applied to RadarScreen. And I've made those intrabar persist variables, and that is because we're getting a little sample in time, and if we don't make it intrabar persist, then TradeStation will forget what that is by the end of the bar. We're finding information here and we're doing it on last bar on chart. If we didn't do on last bar on chart, it would find the value on the first bar on chart, or the first bar in RadarScreen, which is probably going to be a few bars previously. And then we want to do this once. We don't want to keep taking a new snapshot, so I've used once. Then I've just stored the close into original close and T into, or time into, original time. And then we're just plotting this information: original time, original close, the current close, so that's just plotted every tick. And then we've done a little calculation of the change in the price over the original price, and that is expressed as a percentage in RadarScreen based on our settings. So that sort of works, but not really for what we want to do. So what I've done is created another program, and what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to add that to the chart. Okay, so this new program is applied to the chart. This was actually applied today, and the price when applied, we can see it's also sorting. So what I'm going to do is just go into there so that we don't keep having this thing sort all the time. And I'm just going to turn off. In fact, we can just click that, keep the data sorted, so that we're not keeping the data sorted, like so. And we can see now the information displayed in a similar way to before, but if I do Control R to refresh the radar screen, we should see the data of when applied and the price when applied stay the same. So let's just focus on FTNT. I'm going to do Control R, and FTNT, you'll see that that price when applied has stayed exactly the same. And I have another version of the program here applied, and you'll see that that was applied on April 27th, and it has kept a record of the price when applied. So I'm going to create a new program. Just going to copy in some basic information. Then I'm going to click Properties and then double click on Initialized. And we get this part of the program, just removing EL System from there because we have the namespace. And I'm going to print some information. So this thing happens when the program is first applied to the chart. I'm going to print initialized event and the symbol name, then some commentary. And essentially what we're going to do is we're going to look in the AppStorage and see, is there already information stored with the index the same as the get symbol name, as the name of the symbol. We can do that by saying if AppStorage, spelled correctly, dot contains, and then we just put in the name of the symbol, get symbol name. And if that is false, in other words there isn't one stored with that, then we're going to add some information for that symbol. So AppStorage.add, then we're going to put in the symbol name, comma, and then we need to put in our string. So we're going to say num to string, and then we're going to get the date, and we can convert that to date time, and we can put in the current date. So the date of the current bar. We're also going to put more information, so we're going to put in some comma delimited information. Just correcting some of the comments. So we need to put in plus and then a comma and then another plus. So this is all creating a longer string, and then the value of last. So this is the last value of the chart. So this is the value, or the last value that occurs the moment you apply this to a chart. Now the token list class is very useful when we have a string which is comma delimited, because it enables us to very quickly take that information and use it, as you'll see in a second here. Now this could be done in other ways, and again I mentioned this in tutorial 119, but I think you'll probably agree that it's a lot more difficult to process the text in that way. So we need to create some variables, and we're going to do that here. One of them is of course the token list itself, and then we need another couple of variables. So we're going to be using double variables. So applied info is the name of our token list, and we say token list dot create, and then we're going to put into that the value that we've stored in the app storage. And we get that by saying, okay, we want an item in the app storage with the symbol name as the index, and we need to say as type string to type it. So that now is in the token list. And as I mentioned, because it's a token list, we can easily get access to the information, as you'll see just in 1 second. So we're going to plot the date using the format date syntax. If you're not familiar with that, just right click format date, and you'll see I'm going to put into that the string to num. So we're converting the string which we've stored as the date to convert it into a number which can then be used by format date. Now you'll notice that we've got that because we've got that in applied info square brackets 0. So that is what has happened is information that was in one long string is now in a token list, and we can get that just using the 0, 1, 2, etc. And we're going to do similarly for the price, although we're not bothering to change it into a number. We can just display the string, and that was found in the first applied info square brackets 1. We're going to plot the current price, then we're going to calculate what the difference is, what the percentage difference is between the current price and the information that was stored in the token list or in the app storage. So we do that simply. We're just taking close minus string to num, applied info 1 again, which is the information that we stored for the last value when we first applied to the chart. And in fact, what I probably should do here is just calculate convert that to a number once rather than keeping on doing it. But in this example, I don't think it will make a huge amount of difference. And in fact, the value that we're calculating is going to be displayed as a percentage, not actually a percentage. And as in all cases where you're doing a division, it's good practice to make sure that the denominator is not equal to 0. So I just said string to num, applied info square brackets as type string is not equal to 0, and I made a little error there, which we'll correct in 1 second. And then we just change the color of the plot forward depending on whether the value is less than 0 or otherwise. Okay, I'm going to verify it, and we're going to see there is an error because we not included a bracket there, which we should have done. Okay, we also didn't spell then correctly. Apart from that, it verifies, and now we can see that. We're just going to add that to the chart. Just checking, changing the style of the grid. We can see already that the percentage is stored as a percentage, or is displayed as percentage. And also just going to change the colors of the background so we can see this particular study more clearly. And we need to do that for each of the plots. I'm going to click default so that this stays with the program and say OK. And we need to apply it to the chart. Move it to the top. And there you see it. So it was applied on May the 10th. And the price applied, the current price, and the difference displayed as a percentage. Okay, so in this third part of the tutorial, we're going to see the program in action. And if you remember, the very first program we started this tutorial off with, the problem was if you refresh the tutorial, then the values change. So if we just focus on Apple, we've got May the 11th, 152.56. or 152.56.06. If I highlight that and press Ctrl-R to refresh, you'll see that that remains the same, 152.56.06. If I refresh all of the symbols, again, you'll see that Apple remains the same, May the 11th, as do all the other symbols, May the 11th, and then 152.56.06. What I'm also going to do is going to close the workspace. I'm going to save it. And then I'm going to reopen the workspace. And again, the other symbols have remained the same. May the 11th, 152.56.06. Now what happens though if I delete the indicator from RadarScreen? So I'm going to delete it, and then we're going to apply it again. So I'm just going to go to Studies, Add Study, I'm going to say OK. And now you'll notice that the price that the study was applied to, Apple at least, has changed. And that is because we reapplied, we closed down the indicator and we reapplied it. And the same would occur if we were to delete the symbol. So at the moment it's 1540748, but if we deleted Apple and then we went into data and added, you'll see again the price has changed. So this is fine for refreshers, fine for saving the workspace, but it doesn't apply if you take the indicator off RadarScreen, or you close down, or you remove a symbol or all of the symbols. The only other thing is this program is based on the last price, and the last price, as you can see from this chart, remains pretty close to the close. However, for out of hours, that may not necessarily be, there can be some differences. So what I've done, I've created another version of the program, and here we have it. What I've done is I went into properties, removed the initialized and uninitialized, so we're not using those. Instead, what I say is if last bar, and I've also incidentally commented out the section that we used for the analysis technique initialize, where we used the last value. Instead, what I do, I go if last bar on chart, then I want this to happen only once, and then we use the same syntax as we used in this section, with the difference being that I've changed last for close. And the reason I'm doing it for last bar on chart, if we didn't do that, it would run on however many bars you've got on applied to a particular symbol, then it would run on one of the earlier ones, which is not what we're trying to do. The other change that I've done is because there could be a situation where the rest of the program runs and we've not yet stored something in AppStorage. What I've done, I've added this here to say if AppStorage contains the symbol name, then go ahead, create or store information in the token list and then do the plots. Otherwise, it's exactly the same. Anyway, I hope you found that useful. If you're not part of the Markplex mailing list, please go to markplex.com, join the mailing list or the email list. And also, if you're not part of this, if you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble or one of the other video services, make sure you subscribe to the Markplex channel there as well. Thank you very much.